Hello, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden. Let's go ahead and do a couple deep breaths in and out. Make yourself comfortable. Deep breath in. Set aside all other priorities right now. Give yourself permission for this space. Ignore my cat in the background. Do a full body scan, checking inside of you. Deep breath in. I love to write down what I find because it helps me name it and articulate it. And when you name and articulate, massive, massive part of changing your mindset and comprehension. Deep breath in. And out. Deep breath in. And out. Deep breath in. As always, allow your subconscious mind to wander wherever the subconscious mind wanders. There's no reason why you need to try and get that to obey or conform. Leave it alone. Let your subconscious mind go where your subconscious mind goes. Your subconscious mind is not sentient. It is not conscious. It focuses on a thought because it's trying to draw your attention to that thought. It is communicating to you, look, we need to go there. Please pay attention to this. So by ignoring it or shoving it away, you're actually suppressing it, which makes the subconscious mind work harder. Imagine it as a really annoying, nagging delivery boy who has a mission to deliver you a message. And it's going to deliver that message no matter what. So the more you suppress, the more you avoid, the more you ignored, the more persistent it's going to get. So validate, empathize, soothe, reassure. Yes, I see that that is a problem. Yes, I will be looking at that. I am not suppressing it, but I'm going to do this now, which is why I write it down. Because in writing it down, it validates it. It puts it out on paper, so it's out of my subconscious mind. My subconscious mind can relax and let it go because it's passed on the message and it goes away. So write down what it is your subconscious mind is wanting you to look at. And then your subconscious mind will process that it has given you the message, that the conscious awareness, the ego, has received the message, and its job is done. It's now your job and your responsibility to address the problem. Deep breath in and out. And when you breathe out, say, I release all that does not serve me. And when you inhale, I am enough. I am enough. We are restoring the relationship with ourselves because that is what has been damaged. You cannot do mental work with an unexistent identity. Okay. Deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Deep breath in. And out. I am enough. I have all that I need. I love to study the brain. I love to study epiphany and what happens in the brain when we have epiphany. There's an actual process. It's extraordinary. Just before an epiphany, our visual center shuts down, which is why we stare off into space. There's nothing more annoying than when a nonconformist sees you staring off into space and they say, "What are you staring at?" Because it takes you right out of epiphany mode and puts you right back down into the material plane. And it's usually the same fixed point. For me, it's always right there, always. That's where, for whatever reason, it's just a fixed point so your visual center can shut down so you can focus in on the epiphany part in your cognitive, in your frontal cortex. It's extraordinary. And there's a chemical response that happens when it happens. There's like a whole lot of chemical stuff happening. And you have to sit in that moment of fixed point visual shutdown for a certain amount of time to get an X number of chemicals building up. And once the chemicals build up to a certain point, when that cup is finally filled, that's when the dopamine releases and you have your epiphany. It's extraordinary. Every person, every time, consistently. The art of shifting perspective. Yeah. I have dedicated my life to just studying and mastering the art of shifting a perspective. When you have your perspective, it's like having a fixed point, a single fixed point. And everyone can come along and shift that point on you. But when you learn how to do it yourself, it changes the game. You can shift and maneuver and dance around the shift point. You can put your perspective wherever you want it to go. It turns you omniscient. So you become literally the God in your own mind. And suddenly people can't touch your perspective. And if someone takes your perspective, you can take it right back. We all talk about persuasion. We all, every time we open our mouth to another person and we have a conversation, we are engaging in the art of persuasion, shifting a perspective from somebody else. But how many of you can actually shift your own perspective? That's the problem. That is exactly the problem. We are in a fixed point in our perspective, in our minds, at the mercy of other people shifting our own perspective for us. But to have the power and the ability and the know-how to move your own perspective at will, mental illnesses exist in only a certain perspective. So if you know how to shift a perspective, you can literally step outside of the mental illness. When I had multiple personality disorder, I had 4 alters in my head, plus my individual self, my core. And I had the ability to literally jump from all 4 minds. Only one of my alters had mental illness. Only one. So every time I switched, I got to jump perspectives. I could go from having a mental break to everything being fine. I used this knowledge to switch my alters on purpose, using the emotional catalyst that I was able to identify. So I could, on purpose, shift and move from the different perspectives so I could study the art of perspective. And I did. That is the knowledge I took, and then I wrapped it all up, and I turned it into my triadic healing program. And then I integrated myself when I was done. I was able to literally move around the subconscious mind in all the different perspectives and study it. And when you have that kind of knowledge, you gain a completely different perspective on what psychology is. Instead of it all being hypothesis, it's not. Because if it were hypothesis, I would still have multiple personality disorder. This is what I call perspective psychology. Every time we are abused, we're told that we're not enough. We are inadequate. And that burrows self-doubt right into us. The hardest lesson, the greatest lesson, the most impactful lesson I learned through trauma recovery was this. You do not need anyone else to tell you what reality is. Your reality and your perception of reality is good enough. This concept that there is a reality out there that's right, and you have to conform to this one ordained right truth is bullshit. Because then you spend your whole life comparing your perspective to this truth, because that's what we have to do. We must know who we are and our relativity to the truth. But we're told that the truth is one ordained truth that is, and that's not true. Surprise, the truth is actually your perspective. So really, it's just you deciding what your experiences calculate. That's it. No one is in any position to tell you what truth is. You are enough. But we doubt that because outsiders tell us we should doubt that. The only thing wrong with every person in this world is somebody else told us what something should be. And that's the problem. You are enough. You don't need anyone telling you what is. You don't need anyone's opinion to help you determine what the truth is. You've got your same five senses that anyone else has. Your five senses are no better or worse than anyone else's. They're yours. It's a battle of opinions. And a lot of people love to claim that their opinion is fact. And now that puts self-doubt into you. And that's not the case. That's not the case at all. You are enough. Never doubt your own ability to assess your own truth. Do not rely on other people to tell you what did or didn't happen. You know what happened. You're stuck in processing because your subconscious mind is now following the desires and wants and opinions of someone else. But it's your subconscious mind. Take it back. You are enough. The delusion that they gave you is that you can't, that you're not enough, that you're not even capable of forming your own opinion. That's the problem. That you are incapable of forming your own opinion, and that's bullshit. You have the ability to determine when someone's being an asshole. You have the ability to determine everything. You get to decide if a resource is legit or not. You get to decide. Stop trusting people more than you trust yourself. You are enough. I had a massive shift this weekend. And once again, I'm going, okay, need to shuffle things around and figure out what I'm doing with certain things. I'm still, and I always will do the morning meditations at 8 a.m. But what those meditations consist of is I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm still trying to figure that out. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. If you love shit like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want more shit like this, subscribe to my newsletter. You'll get my free Healing Garden starter pack. And if you can't get enough shit like this, subscribe to become a member. Become a member of the Healing Garden. We provide a respite healing center, everything you need for healing, trauma recovery for the nonconformist. Take a look at the link below. Thank you so much, and may the kindest of words always find you.